I'm Abdus. I'm one of the account directors here at Kubrick, also a diversity champion and part of the ESG advisory committee. So Ramadan is an opportunity to really connect with yourself, your body, your spirituality, with the people around you, to know that we are collectively all on this mission, essentially, together to really connect with our mind, body and soul, but also better those who are less fortunate around us, go out of our way to form small habits such as charity, such as caring about people, such as fostering inclusivity, such as being there for family and trying to replicate those kind of habits throughout the year. What that means is actually stripping back a lot of the pleasures that we have in life. So that means abstaining from food, water and certain other pleasures between dawn till dusk in order to really connect with our Lord and ourselves as much as possible. So Ramadan, it takes place once a month every year, and it's the 9th month of the Islamic calendar. So this year it falls within the month of April, and in the beginning of May we shall observe Eid, which concludes Ramadan in its entirety for this year. When it comes to Ramadan, or some facts that are really interesting, water is not allowed, no food, no drink, or some other pleasures that we do have. There are also cases whereby one shouldn't also fast. So this could be if you're sick, if you're ill, if you're suffering from very serious illnesses, if you may be pregnant, or if you're traveling long distances. So Ramadan is there to test you a little bit, but it's not also there to put you under some sort of real hardship. The one thing that Ramadan does teach me is how strong the mind actually is. When we are going to observe Ramadan, you're not going to eat, you're not going to drink, that sleep is going to be a little bit broken. But it's astonishing to know that even though we are aware that we're going to go through all of that, how resilient the human mind and body really is, because actually we will come up the other end and we can actually do a good day's worth of work and be as productive as possible. However, we do face our challenges, of course, when fasting. The one thing which I think colleagues need to be mindful of is the change of routine, because we're up in the middle of the night. We need to get up a little bit early again for work. There's no food and drink, so we do face elements of fatigue, a little bit of tiredness. And then at the end of the day, we've also got to break our fast, so we need to cook just before we eat. But then also we've got other prayers, up till, quite late at night as well. So I think it's imperative, I guess, as colleagues, just to check in on people, see how they're doing, how is everything going, could they learn, some sort of support wherever it could be, and just be a little bit empathetic and mindful. I think that goes a real long way. I think one thing that Kubrick is doing really, really well, and I think I alluded to in one of my posts that I did on LinkedIn a couple of weeks ago, is about also being flexible in our approach when it comes to working. Some people could start a little bit later, could maybe end a little bit later, have a little bit of flexible hours in order to make their life a little bit easier in their fasting because of the change in routine for that month as well. But I certainly say, being empathetic and asking the right questions and, being supportive to your colleague is paramount in fostering a really, really caring and inclusive culture. I think the best way to learn about Ramadan is to speak to people, speak to those who are close to you and actually observing, such as this conversation that we're having here today, to your colleagues, and really understand what it means to each and every one of you. And I think that will allow you to paint the best possible picture as to what Ramadan actually is. Kubrick is growing rapidly, and what we're seeing is phenomenal in terms of so many different young people joining the organisation from a really, really diverse background. So fostering inclusivity and celebrating diversity is something which is paramount to each and every one of us. So one thing that we are currently doing is the Ramadan Fast Challenge, whereby we are challenging a number of our colleagues, well, all our colleagues actually, to join us for a day of fasting, to experience what it's actually like for a number of your colleagues that are observing the fast for a whole month. And what we're looking to achieve out of that is, number one, harbouring that and fostering that inclusivity and bringing us all together, but actually, allowing one to understand what our colleague is actually going through, for a day, to really allow us to empathise and really understand what it's like as someone that is fasting for a whole day throughout the whole month of Ramadan.